2 minutes at the end to revisit things that you think are most important. Okay, so for the second question, we're going to start with Mr. Freeman. In Kensington and in El Cerrito, a significant number of families take their children out of West Contra Costa schools in middle and high school and put them in Albany and Berkeley public schools or in private school. And the result is less money, uninvolved parents, and loss of community reinvestment in our schools. What will you do specifically to prevent this kind of family flight?
Yes.
Mr. Freeman.
It's a huge, huge problem. And the most important thing that we can do is to make our schools safer, to increase the number of programs that are available to our students, and increase the community investment so that people do feel like it's a place for their students to attend. This is a topic that comes up over and over again, and it brings back, I've told this story a lot, so you may have heard it. When my parents first got me involved in education, it was because they were being active about an AP calculus class in our school, in our high school, and they were told that if you didn't have 15 students, you couldn't start the class, and we only had 12. And so my parents said, fine, we'll send the kids to the college and you can pay for the buses and the tuition. So they started the class, and 2 or 3 years later, we had 35 kids in the class and they all passed the test. So it's not just about helping one group of kids, it's about increasing the opportunities for all kids so that this program improves overall.
Ms. Cronenberg?
This has been an issue for a long time, all the time that my kids have been in the district. And I think that what's been said is true. We need to have something for everyone in each of our schools. So what we have to look at is what do these parents see as not being there that Albany and Berkeley offer them. And what it really is rigor. That's the main thing. Two things, and I'll be very blunt. One thing might be that they're feeling that there's a safety issue. And I think we've addressed part of the safety issue. We're continuing to address safety issues, and we've done that with the new schools. The second one is rigor. We're addressing rigor and continuing to address rigor. We've created, Mr. Ramsey and I co-created the Ivy League Connection, a program that is all about rigor and rewarding students for their abilities in the classrooms and building the college-going culture. We're also, in our district, a leader in something called linked learning, which I think is one of the big secrets in California education, but is really looking at raising the bar for everyone in California. And that's something else that people are going to want to send their children to our schools to go to.
Okay, Ms. Merriweather.
One of the things that I believe that we need to do is to engage parents. For a long time, some parents in this district have felt like they haven't been heard or listened to. And I think that's important as a parent myself, that I know that this district is really for what I want for my child. So we definitely have to look at the curriculum. We have to look at the kind of support that our teachers are getting. If they're not getting the support that they need to teach our children, then there's a problem. Also, the safety issue is one of my biggest things. Parents need to feel that their children are safe in school. And so we need to sit down with our parents and have that real conversation about why they're leaving this district so that we can work on those solutions.
Ms. Miles.
Take it away. I think one of the key factors for a community as a whole is building that relationship. And so in smaller districts like Albany, there is a sense of a community. And why is there a sense of community? Because parents are able to have input, parents are able to be more active within the schools. And so West Contra Costa is doing their best at this point to build that sense of community with schools by providing the volunteerism programs and by having more community meetings. When we went through the school closure process, that was one of the key issues, was that parents need to be able to have a voice because they are their children's advocate. As always, parents have a right to choose the type of education that they want, so rigor is of importance. So, and as well, safety. So those three issues, as far as I'm concerned, is that the sense of community and that sense of communication, the sense of family, the sense of safety, and high rigor within the schools.
Mr. Ramsey.
Yeah, the middle school mystery, Portland Middle School. And for me, it really starts with leadership. And we need to make sure that we have strong leadership. Most people don't realize it's been a revolving door at Portland. And we haven't been able to establish a solid, stable team to bring about the curriculum and the development with staff to ensure that the rigor takes place. I think people will send their kids to Portland, but they don't see the reason to do it. And I can understand that, even though my children have gotten an excellent education there and doing well. I just believe that we need better leadership at the school site, and that starts with making sure that the superintendent puts somebody in that they have confidence in to build that trust, to show that they can take them forward, get the AP courses in, show the families and parents that they can have the rigor, they can have the strong instruction, and I think we'll be fine. I think once we do that, we will see people talk about it. Because Martin Luther King, where I grew up in Berkeley, was a school nobody wanted to go to when I was a kid. So now that people are fleeing to Martin Luther King, maybe I need to go visit and find out what they're doing, because that was not a school. So we can get it turned around.
Mr. Cowan.
My approach here is to look at it a little differently. From listening to other candidates talk about this, often the attitude is that there's something that we're doing fine, we know all the answers, and we should just implement those. And my approach is a little different. I think that we should start out from something that's like we should start doing something similar to exit interviews, not exactly like that. Instead of looking at the people who are fleeing and trying to identify them, to try and talk to them about what are the reasons that they're really leaving, instead of simply assuming that we know them. I mean, we may be right in our assumptions, but we would want to make sure about that. And then you identify issues that are miscommunication issues. Maybe there's something there that's actually there that would be attractive to them. They just don't realize it. And some things are concerned structural changes. Like there was a whole K-8 movement about a few years ago where they were basically arguing that was the structural change that would have to occur. I would like to see this, I would like to actually go and ask people exactly why they're leaving, and I would like to make a big deal about it. Instead of just saying we're going to do it, make a big splash as a program to find out.
Thank you. The next